This short little video is going to show you how to find the databases to use for research for this course. If you go to Western Piedmont's homepage, this is what it looks like. And then you want to go up here to where it says Library. Click on Library. All right, and I'm going to move this down a little bit. You will see that it comes up and it's got online resources. So you want to click Online Resources. And if you're on campus, it's going to automatically bring all this up for you. But if you're off campus, which you guys are, you'll need to type in your username and password. And sometimes, for whatever reason, a warning message will come up saying that the website is not trusted. It is. So just go ahead and click through that, and it'll take you straight to it. So don't worry about it being a virus or anything like that, because it's not. I don't know why it does that, but it does. So then once this comes up for you, you can scroll through here, and these are all the different databases that contain research articles. Okay, some of these aren't going to be relevant to this class, obviously, but for the purpose of writing your literary analysis, you could use either NC Live right here, or I highly suggest Artemis because it's a literary reference center right here. So I'm going to click on Artemis, and then this is what comes up. So what you'll do is in the search box, you're going to type in whatever it is you want to discuss. Like, for instance, let's do, like, if we refer back to The Lottery by Shirley Jackson, that story that I put up as a sample. If you want to, let's just say we wanted to talk about symbols in The Lottery. Okay. So I'm going to type that in. And then, let's see, there's actually a critical essay here. It says Shirley Jackson's use of symbols in the lottery. So I can click on that, and then it's going to give me the full text. It gives me the entire article right here. So I'll have to read through. I may want to print it out so I can highlight. But if you're going to focus on one of your body paragraphs or all of your body paragraphs on different symbols used in the story that you choose, then, you know, this is probably going to be a really good article for if someone was doing the lottery, which they're not. It's the sample story I put up there. All students have to choose from the stories I provided in the instructions. But this is just kind of an example to show you how to go about doing this. So once you have found what you want to find as far as support for whatever points you're bringing up, and you know what quotes you want to include and so forth. The good thing about the databases is that it does the citing for you as far as on a works cited page. So if you go up here to Citation Tools and click on Citation Tools, it'll automatically default come up MLA 8th edition, and that's what you want. And here's the citation. All you do is copy, and then I'm going to pull up a Word document, and then make sure I change to fit MLA format, which is 12 font and Times New Roman. All right, and double spacing. Make that 0. And that should be set. So all I have to do is right click and paste. All right, it still went back to 11 font. Okay. So, with this here, the only thing I'm going to have left to do is use hanging indentation. So I'll go back to paragraph up here, click on special, then go to hanging, and then go OK. And there we have the source citation. Now the biggest thing is you have to make sure that it's got the large work italicized, which it does. And then you have to make sure at the top of your works cited page, you have the words works cited. And then, of course, this is just the research source, because remember, you're only required to have one research source in addition to the source, which is your short story that you choose. So I've got my research source here, so that's taken care of. And so all I'll need to add would be the short story source. And I've showed how to cite that in the instructions for the assignment. And then I'll need to make sure that I put it in alphabetical order. Like if you go up here, once I get that short story source down here, if it's in alphabetical order, that's great. But if it's not, you're going to have to go up here to the A to Z. You're going to highlight everything, then click on the A to Z, and it will put it in alphabetical order for you. Now, how in the world would I cite this source within my essay? Because if I use a quote from this source, if I paraphrase anything from this source, use any ideas from this source, I have to cite it within my essay. So whenever I use a quote, I may start out by saying, Danielle Schwab, a literary writer or a literary criticism writer, stated, and then I'll give the quote. Now, I don't see any page numbers listed. Oh, right here. There's page numbers right there. So you'll need to make sure that whatever specific quote or piece of information you use from the source within your essay, that you put the specific page number at the very end in parentheses. Another way that you could do it is just, and I'm just going to put it on this one. You want to give the quote, and then at the very end, you put the author's last name, and then whatever page number it's on. Let's say it's on 85. And then your period after. This is how it would look within your essay. Not on the works cited page. I just put it here to type it up, but what it would look like within your essay. Okay? So, let me go back to the database and get out of that. If you have to, there may be, sometimes you might have to change your wording. Let's see if anything. The Lottery by Shirley Jackson, Literary Devices. Let's just see what comes up. Okay, we've got a couple. There's some of these might not even pertain to what you're trying to do, but that's what you have to do. You have to kind of look through it. Like this one says Shirley Jackson's Witch Children. It talks about the cult of the child and disrupting the narratives of domesticity. So there's some deeper theme types of discussion in this one. And theme is a literary term. So if you choose to use one of your paragraphs and discuss theme in the story that you choose, then you can certainly dive into some of these articles that discuss theme. Let's see. The Lottery and Overview. Allegory is a literary device. So this may be a good article if you're going to discuss allegory. Let's see. There's tons. I mean, you have to just sit and go through it. Now, this is for the lottery, the short story example that I provided. But like, for instance, if you want to do like Chopin's The Story of an Hour, Story of an Hour, literary devices. Okay, you type that in, and then you can kind of fish through here. Now, to me, this doesn't look like it's going to be anything having to do with the story that we chose by Kate. Let me do this specifically. Okay, here are a couple different articles, but you want to make sure it focuses specifically on the story of an hour. And I don't know if any of these do. Let's see. Right here, The Autonomous Female Self and the Death of Louise Mallard and Kate Chopin's Story of an Hour. So, you could, again, fish through and see if any of these apply to you. Or we may want to change it and see if there are, any symbols in this particular story, and then it's going to change it up. It's going to change up the article choices. So it's all about playing around. When you get into these databases, don't get frustrated if you type in something and it doesn't immediately come up for you. You're going to have to change some things up, and you're going to have to do some digging. Researching is not something that you can just sit down and do in 5 minutes. It's something that you're going to have to dedicate some time to find really good, appropriate articles and essays that fit whatever you're writing about and help support your points. So my suggestion would be is to go ahead and create your outline and then write your essay And once you do that, you can go back and look through your essay and see where you could incorporate some research. And some good research would be maybe the background of the author. You could probably look up, the time period that a lot of these stories are written in and why they're important to the actual plot of the story. That's something that you could look at. Looking at different symbols, themes, conflicts, character analysis. You can really look at, dive in deep and look at the character and what you believe to be true and what you've interpreted about that particular character and maybe why they do what they do. And that's called character motivation. So, there's several different ways you can do this, but it's going to take some time, and it's going to make sure you allot the time to sit down to conduct some research. But my suggestion would be choose your short story, research the author, find out a lot about the author, why they wrote that piece, what may have motivated them to write that piece, the time period, and so forth. Then read that story again and figure out how it breaks down, what literary devices or techniques are used in the story. These are all fiction, but there's some truth in each one of them if you really dig deep. So pull in some research to help support your ideas, but the paper should be more you than research. You do not support the research supports you. If you have any questions along the way during this research process, please contact me. Know that whatever sources you cite on your works cited page must be cited within your essay. And at least one of the sources for this assignment has to be the short story. The other one, a research source. If you choose to have more than just those two sources, that's fine, but do not go overboard. This is a 3-page essay, and you do not need 10 sources for a 3-page essay. So just make sure you kind of keep that in mind. Thank you.